Welcome, everybody, to the Anime Lounge podcast. I'm Matt, one of your co-hosts, alongside with Lance. And today we have a special guest, my cousin Ben. Ben, can you give us a little introduction to yourself? Maybe something, what got you into anime, some of your favorite ones?
So, I'm Ben. Matt, you're the one that got me into anime, along with your brother Nick. Started out with like Dot Hack Sign.
Oh my god, Dot Hack Sign?
Yeah.
That's fucking forever ago.
Super classics.
Rurouni Kenshin.
Yep.
All that fun stuff. And I've been corrupted ever since.
Probably some Dragon Ball Z mixed in there.
Yeah, Toonami kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Adult Swim.
That's typically what gets everybody in.
Stay up until like 2, 3 in the morning.
Yep.
We did do that? What are you talking about? We were good teenagers.
Yeah, just like we didn't sneak off and get candy out of the cupboard.
Yeah, no. Never did those things either.
Candy.
Nerds rope at 2 in the morning is the best.
So, what's some of your top favorite anime?
Probably Naruto, Re:Zero, and Konosuba. But yeah, Naruto is definitely the biggest one I keep going back to.
All right. Yeah, I know you like to get your nephew involved in that.
He absolutely loves Naruto, and I could not be happier. He's my little weeb. But unfortunately, he likes Sasuke over Naruto, so I might have to dock points.
Ooh. Okay, I've only seen like half of season 1, and all I can say is, I don't know, Sasuke's got that like emo, like I'm cooler than you guys. Edgy. He's got the edginess to him, so he's got my interest. I can't I can't go any further than that because I've only seen like half of season 1, so
he's Lance.
My opinion doesn't really count.
Well, good thing that he doesn't change his personality much, so you got it spot on.
Okay. So no character development.
No character development.
Oh, no, there is, but very, very minor.
Right.
But before we continue, we always like to start every episode with an adult beverage of choice. And today, Lance and I are drinking Old Fashions with some Journeyman's Distillery Featherbone Bourbon Whiskey. That was something I convinced my parents to bring back to me when they were up in Michigan, because it's a local distillery out of Michigan. So just a little something. Every time I go places, like to get something a little more local.
And I'm not much of an alcohol drinker, so I got a G Fuel energy drink to keep me awake.
And that's okay. No pressure to drink. Everybody does their own thing. More than welcome to do whatever makes you happy.
So, Matt, do you have a synopsis?
All right, so Kemono Jihen is a 12-episode anime about a 13-year-old half-ghoul, half-human hybrid who was abandoned as a child. The only thing his parents left behind was a life stone that he carries with him at all times. He runs into a detective named Mr. Hinagami, asking if Kabane wants to find his parents. Kabane learns about kimonos in his search for his parents, and you just kind of run down that path of him searching for his parents.
All right.
Lance, can you give us a Lance's lessons before we really get started into this episode?
Today's Lance's lessons is going to be the Japanese word for fox, and that is kitsune. That is Kitsune, which is quite fitting today because we have 3 characters as far as season 1 goes that has fox-like characters. And kitsune is also in many other anime that you might recognize, but it's going to be good enough for today.
Yeah, it's one of those, if you watch a lot of subbed anime, you're going to be like, oh, that's what that means. I always like getting those reference points down.
Right.
Lance, do you have a favorite character in this one?
Yeah, I've kind of been jumping a little bit back and forth between 2. And usually, I know I've said this in the past, and I don't like choosing the main character as my favorite character, but at this point, I am super, invested in Kabane as my favorite character. I but his antisocialness is super funny to me. Like every time he has an interaction with another person that's not like normal to his like farm, his original lifestyle, is everything is just so awkward and it's really funny. So not only are his awkwardnesses funny, but he's also super strong. And episode 1, we got to see him turn into this half giant demon like thing. Like he almost looks zombified, and that was already pretty awesome to me because I love zombies. So I'm super interested in what Kabane could be, and I can't wait to see more about him.
Yeah, it's like what is Shiki's sister's name? Is it Aya? Aya, so Aya? Yeah.
Yeah, Aya.
When Aya's talking about wanting to go on a date with Kabane, and he's like, you want to go out somewhere? Okay, let's go somewhere.
Yeah, let's go somewhere. He doesn't realize that it means that they're like he doesn't understand that relationship.
Yeah, and he is very clueless, and it's good comedic relief because there's a lot of serious points when it comes to this anime.
Right, which I really hope this doesn't start turning into a harem on some, lowball kind of stuff like that.
There's no way it will.
Yeah, because it's going to be sad.
Yeah, Kone's infatuation with him. That'll be interesting to see if her fondness towards Kabane leads to anything happening.
Right.
Because Inari kind of tries to manipulate. Well, she absolutely tries to manipulate Kone. But I'm wondering if her infatuation with Kabane will help kind of dissuade any manipulation that Inari has on Kone. So that definitely something to look forward to.
Right. Ben, do you have a favorite character in mind?
Oh, definitely. Kone is my favorite right now.
That's my second favorite.
Okay.
Go on. Explain yourself.
Well, I just see a lot of potential in her. Like, she's so immature and strives for the attention of Inari that I feel like her character development's just going to keep progressing until she becomes satisfied with her own self, essentially. And she's kind of learning about how to function like a normal person, like Kabane is actually.
Yeah,
in a way,
basically in the same boat. Like they're both just as awkward.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, where she just sits in a tree waiting for him to come by.
Fucking days on end. That was so funny.
She just wants to be a good girl.
You said you were going to get food and come back. I thought you were going to be back a lot sooner. I've been sitting here for a couple days.
Oh, it was a week.
Oh, it was a full week?
Yeah.
I thought it was a couple days.
I thought it was 3 days, but it might have been a week. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, but still, like, she was just
was
totally okay with days going by.
Yeah,
was so crazy.
I just sat in this tree, captured some koi, waited for you. It's the usual.
And they're rotten now.
Kabane and Shiki were just sitting in the living room, and Kabane was just like, "Oh, I forgot something. I'll be back."
So monotone. Oh,
that's right. I have things to do.
That was one of my favorite scenes. Was when he was sitting there counting out. He knew something was off. It's like, you're here, you're here, you're here, I'm here. Oh my god, I forgot about Kone. And he rushes back. Like, essentially, he didn't, like, punch the tree, but he shakes the tree, and then... I love how Kone always falls out of the tree. Like, I say always because it happened twice. But Kone always, like, comes out of the tree, like, head down, just smashes her head. It's just comedic. This show is pretty damn funny. I did have quite a few giggles.
Yeah, especially for just a short 12-episode season.
Yeah, right? So much happened, and at the same time, not enough happened. I just can't get enough. Anyway,
the pacing is good.
The pacing is great. Matt, what is your favorite character?
I'm going to go kind of far off, and Mihai.
Mihai?
Yes.
Okay,
Mihai
I'm
is my
super
favorite
interested
character.
in Mihai myself. Go on.
Oh, okay. The vampire.
Yep, the vampire dude. I am so interested into more of his backstory. And besides, your main characters that you have, everybody else you don't really know about. And you get little snippets like Inari, you get a little snippet of Hinagami. You're like, he knows a lot of information. Where did he know all this information from?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we need to start learning a lot more of these backstories in the next season.
Yep. And then Mihai, you're just so...
He's kind of like the guy in the chair.
He is the guy in the chair, but he's...
in all the Marvel and DC comics, he's the guy in the chair.
And it was hilarious that he challenged everybody to an arm wrestling match for Kabane to not be his quote-unquote bellboy, as they say in the anime, or his slave.
His slave, yeah.
So knowing full well that he's going to win anyway, and it was just kind of interesting because, I mean, he's the only vampire that we meet at this point.
He's the only vampire. That's very true because, this world is so open to all of these monsters.
Yep.
But at the same time, I'm interested in Mihai because he gives himself all these random ass titles.
I was just going to say that.
Like,
he's so-and-so of Transylvania or whatever.
Look, is he just giving himself these titles to make himself feel more cooler or whatnot? Or, has he lived such a long life and explored long enough that, he legitly is who he says he is?
I feel like it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, because he does say he gets bored easily, so he has to do these different hobbies to keep his brain occupied. Otherwise, he'll go on a rampage or something.
Yeah, what exactly happens when he gets, literally bored? Does he just start killing people?
I mean, maybe, because Kabane was only able to break his wrist using full strength. So what?
It wasn't. Well, Kabane wasn't using. Kabane was using his human strength at that time.
I feel like it was his human strength intertwined with his ghoul strength.
Yeah, because he didn't know there was a difference at first.
Yeah,
maybe because during the mosquito fight,
we
learned that Mihai was telling Kabane that Kabane is only tapping into his human strength, and he hasn't understood his potential, and that's why he couldn't beat him in the arm wrestling.
Yeah.
So as soon as Kabane learned to go Super Saiyan God. And for those of you who don't know, that's Super Saiyan with the red hair.
Or blue?
No, red, because Super Saiyan God is red, Super Saiyan God blue.
Blue is after God,
yeah.
Yep.
That's when Kabane truly tapped into his Kular abilities. And Kular, through the anime, they described it as a bloodless demon.
You could almost call that Super Saiyan Blue. Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue. Is when he turned, the fight with Akira's sister, Akira's brother, when he has that stone embedded in his chest.
You mean Akira?
Akira, sorry.
Akira,
yeah.
With the null stone?
Yeah, with the null stone embedded in his chest. You can almost call that as his upgraded version when he goes...
With the fire being embedded in a complete flame.
Yep.
He was literal Human Torch.
Yeah. You can throw so many things into that. Okay, now that let's just talk about that moment.
Okay.
Well, that was episode 12. That was the final episode.
Yep.
I was not on board with, just because he was basically engulfed in flame, that he can overpower Yui.
Yep.
That he can overpower Yui's ice. I don't know. It's so hard. Sure, I can understand Kabane's strength with a fire punch might do some damage. I don't know. There was too much ice power versus just a little bit of a flame power. I think they took a little bit of some leaps there.
Besides, I thought it was, since it's from a kitsune, the fire is supposed to be like an illusion.
That's another thing I thought about.
I didn't understand how he was burning.
Because, historically we know that, unless you know too much about Japanese stuff, foxes are known for their illusions.
Yeah.
And yet we have Nobimaru, the blonde-haired kid with the headset, and Kon, they're fire user foxes, kitsune. But at the same time, Kon seemed to, we saw in the beginning of the series, that Kon had illusionary fire with maybe a little bit of a touch because Shiki had that burn mark on him. But Nobimaru clearly has full power fire because he does distinguish demons, or not demons, but he does full out kill guys. So there is a lot of confusion going on.
We don't know the true potential of all their abilities.
And that's something they do a very good job of, is showing a glimpse of his strengths where he was able to just completely disintegrate those mosquitoes. But you want to know more because he talks about how he's just some kind of underling that's super weak.
He called himself weak too. He said he was a low of the low or something.
He's low of the low, but he also has his own agenda.
Right.
Yep.
Compared
and
to
he despises Lady Inari.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of that one guy from Dr. Stone with the super hearing.
Oh,
the bow guy.
The bow guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
they both were working with the quote enemy, but like had their own agenda.
Right.
And
But they still wanted for the better of
they're
humanity.
both yellow. And
They
have
are
the same
both yellow.
haircut.
Ben might be onto something now.
Yeah, maybe yellow might be like a neutrality thing.
I
Yeah,
know.
that does sound about right.
Zenitsu has yellow hair, but
Zenitsu,
Yeah, but he has polarizing personalities depending on if he's awake or asleep.
his color doesn't change though.
Yes, that's true. But like you said, it could be neutral.
Yeah, it could be some form of neutrality.
Zenitsu
It
is
controls the
definitely
chaos.
not. Zenitsu's not neutral. But anyway, let's go. Let's go back to Kemono. It'll be interesting. I'm curious to see what happens to Nobumaru in the season 2 because I guarantee you he's going to be following Kon and making sure that she's keeping on track with her mission in trying to convince Kabane to give up his life stone.
Well, I'm pretty sure did they give it a new name? Because at episode 12 we find out that the life stone and the null stone fused together. I feel like they gave it some new name. But
I don't remember them saying anything. They just said it fused.
Yeah.
And to keep it as a bargaining chip to get more information out of...
Yeah, that's all I remember
Whatever.
from...
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too far ahead.
Sounds like we're gonna
mixing
have to
anime
rewatch it.
at this point. I don't know. But yeah, so it can have its own name.
We could give it its own name.
It looked like a big U or a
The
moon
U
crescent.
stone.
I don't know.
It was interesting. I'm curious to see what they'll do for season 2. Well, I mean, we're already kind of down that rabbit hole. Anything you guys are looking forward to for season 2?
Well, if it's anything, it's that they already kind of said that there's many different stones out there. So I would be curious to see how many crazy ass people like Kabane might be out there like that are trying to suppress their superpowers. Like maybe there's going to be other people like him that have different other things like a soul, or it can even be as weird as like hearing or voice, or
Yeah, it's interesting.
I don't know. Like they were just expressing that there's many different stones out there, and I want to know more about that.
Yeah, because the life stone, it kind of seemed like it had absolutely nothing to do with life in general because it kept that.
His bloodlust at bay.
Well, it did. So I'm thinking. Sorry, the null stone is what I'm thinking of, where it brought that eternal blizzard to the village.
To the village itself. Yeah, like
And
by
then it
itself,
leached
it
it.
was a blizzard. It was so
And then
weird.
it leached the life out of Yui.
Mhm.
Yeah, which gave him like instant control over that power, but it also like hardened his heart and all that sappy stuff. But, it came with a price to pay. And here we have Kaname holding on to his... I mean, I guess it's not embedded in him. I mean,
He swallows it.
there's been those 2 occasions where he swallowed it, but it's not embedded in his chest like it was
Yeah,
with
it's not part of him.
Akira's brother.
And
So I wonder.
it is also keeping his other half at bay.
Yeah.
So it is doing something.
Right, because, ever since episode 1, we haven't seen this super awesome demon form
Yep.
show its face again.
Yeah, when he taps into his power, he just changes his hair color to red and his eyes, and he gets stronger. But when the stone actually got removed from him, he mutated into that beastly form.
Right, in the first episode, yeah.
So Ben, is there anything you're looking forward to for season 2?
More fleshed out backstories and character development, and I'm looking forward to seeing where Hinagami and Kabane go to find Kabane's parents.
Okay.
Because that's where they left it off at the end of episode 12.
Yep.
Yeah,
They're
it was
leaving-
focused on finding his parents, and I want to know exactly what's going on with his parents.
Like, why did they leave him, and what could have happened that caused them to leave him with the life stone? Because we learned earlier in this season that there has to be a reason because of how powerful and important these stones are. They wouldn't have just left it for no reason.
Right.
Yeah, that was in episode 12. That was in the last episode.
Oh, yeah.
Where Yui was talking about how important those stones were and how essentially he came from nobility.
Like
It's probably
Yeah. Nobility are the people who own these stones,
Or the clan heads are in charge of these stones and
or
passing
their
them on.
chiefs.
Mhm.
The chiefs are the ones that hold stones.
So it's what happened to his parents slash
Or the
family.
others of his kind, because we don't see anybody else like him.
Nope. And
At least yet.
I have a feeling Mr. Hinagami is hiding something.
Oh, for sure. Like there's how does he? Okay, first of all, he has this investigation service, and what are his sources? Because apparently this guy has access to all sorts of information. I mean, we can't necessarily rely on Lady Inari's information. I mean, of course, she's got all of that police station under her thumb.
Yep.
So she's got her own source of information, but Hinagami, he's got something coming in, and we don't know how reliable or anything like of the sorts.
Yeah, because he talks about keeping an eye on Shiki's uncle. Let's see, Akio.
Ooh, I didn't write down
forgot
the uncle's name, but sure, I can go with that.
Akio is Akio. I believe.
Akio, yeah.
Well, for the golden thread. Okay.
Yeah,
He seemed to know quite a lot about that.
Keeping an eye on him for over a year, and then also keeping an eye on him before Shiki even went to Mr. Inagami's detective agency. Like, before that even happened, he was already keeping an eye on him, stopping the thread, which I believe that he was the reason why Inari knew about it, and because she has a greater hand in everything, especially because she's a part of the police department,
Right.
she was able to stop this quote-unquote illegal thread from coming through.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about Inari's play in it, but I know Inugami had a strong hand in stopping that thread from becoming at least, like a sellable item.
So when Akari talks about the thread with Mr. Inagami, he's like, so you were the one that was stopping me from selling this thread. And he's like, well, I wasn't the one that was doing it, but I have a friend who is very
maybe that's how it
persuasive in those manners. And I mean,
they don't want it getting out to the public because they're trying to keep their kind from being public knowledge.
Which I thought was awesome in the end of season 12. I know we're jumping around all
Episode
over the
12.
place. Yeah, at the end of episode 12.
Season 12, wow.
Yeah,
We're getting way ahead of ourselves.
it's all over. This is really slow paced if it's season 12. But at the end of episode 12, they're talking about this war between the Kemonos and the humans. And that's something I really like about this anime, is that they give you a lot of details that
Subtly.
keeps you invested. Subtly, yeah, that's a really great way to put it, is they give you those subtle details, and then later on, without having to go 12 seasons into it, you find out, it's like, hey, this is the reason why everybody's this way.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I really enjoyed that.
It just makes you wanting to keep coming back for more to their way of explaining things.
Not only that, but like episode 12 left you at such like a heavy cliffhanger. Like,
so much information dropped at once.
exactly. Like,
but at the same time, not a lot of information.
everything just like splits, and you just need to know what happens next. Like, Akira goes with his brother, and we need to. I just need to know. I'm gonna say a point, like, just up front. I need to see Kavane go into like essentially his demon form again. Like, I need to see him reach another. Like, I cannot
Rip
imagine
another elk's head off.
I mean, basically, I need to see Kavane go into that form at least once more, and I think he's gonna be forced to go into that form at least in season 2, maybe season 3, depending on how far this shit goes. But I need him to force his hand to go into that state, because I think shit's gonna get real at some point. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I can see that happening, especially, they kind of do all this detective stuff, and then maybe the second to last episode or something, Kabane loses his life stone and then starts turning into that
just
demon.
Goes on a rampage.
And that's kind of the last part of season 2. I could see something like that happening.
Yeah, like Inari needs to be like in possession of that stone because she sneakily stole it, because she's a bitch like that. And then Kabane is gonna get the repercussions of not holding on to a stone anymore, and then just go full out, what was the term I used? Kular, and fuck shit up and lose control. I expect him to lose control, and then he's gonna need, through the power of friendship with Akira and Shiki come back to his normal senses, and
Or even Conan.
and Cone, yeah, sure, why not? Because he's finding friendship through her as well. Through the power of friendship, he's gonna come to his senses and control this power. That's my expectation. I mean, I can see that happening.
That is a big trope in anime.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about tropes. Yep.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I hope they don't go down that road where he's just
It's too predictable.
oh, now I can just control my thirst for human blood and I'm good. It's like, all right, cool.
Ooh. Okay, back to human blood. That just instantly reminded me of that time in the earlier part of the episode where we meet Kon and Shiki has Kabane's head in his hand, and then Kabane's like, throw me at her, like I'll take care of the situation. And he throws, and Kabane takes a bite out of Kon's shoulder, and like what I took from that was that Kabane got blood in Kabane's system and he was able to regenerate faster or something along those sorts.
Oh, yeah.
What are you guys' thoughts on like that little scene right there? Because I think that might foreshadow some kind of ability that Kabane might have.
Because earlier you said he's a bloodless demon.
Yeah, he's bloodless.
So
can't feel pain, doesn't have blood. The mosquitoes had no effect on him.
So taking the blood in him does sound like it would make sense that he would regenerate faster.
Oh, I know. Shit. Now that I say
It's
that.
the life force.
Okay, so now we're talking about blood, but then we go back to episode 12 where Nobimaru, the fox guy with the headphones, lit him on fire. Dude literally burnt to a skeleton, and he
went to ash at the very end too.
Yeah, he was in ash. He was a skeleton. Like nothing was there. He had no access to any kind of blood, and he slowly regenerated from there. So I don't know how blood can do with any kind of sorts of that.
Or
now
when
I'm
he
contradicting myself.
When Yui froze him and he finally came undone, he literally ripped his torso off.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
that was strange.
just pantsless.
Yeah. But that's fun. I mean, we can go down another rabbit hole like that. Like, if Kabane can split himself in two and one part regenerates, but we learn through that concept that wherever the head is, that's the true Kabane. Like, there can't be, like, two Kabane. Like, his bottom half can't regenerate upwards. It's going to be from a top-down concept at that point.
No shadow clones.
Yeah, no shadows.
Yes, no shadows.
Hey, let's take a quick break.
And now that we're back from our break, do you guys have any favorite fights or any favorite scenes in specific?
To me, the first one that comes to mind, I'm pretty sure it's not the elk scene in the beginning, but I'm pretty sure it's when, like, in episode 7 where we meet Shiki's, his, 100 brothers. But there was, regardless of where exactly happened, there was one scene where Kabane, classically punched one of the demon guys through the mouth and pulled out his internal organs, like his tongue and whatnot.
That was awesome.
I was like, holy shit! Let's just fuck it, man. Let's just pull out some internal shit.
It's
I
a
just
Mortal
thought,
Kombat thing.
yeah, totally, 100% Mortal Kombat.
Finisher.
I just thought that was awesome. I don't exactly remember where that was, but I know, I'm pretty sure he might have done it twice. Could have even been during the frog scene. I don't know, but he's done that, and I just loved that. To me, that was awesome. What about you, Ben?
Probably the final fight where Kabane is lit on fire by, what was his name? Yellow-haired dude. Nobimaru, yeah. And was fighting Yui. That just was awesome. There's no other word to describe it. It was just pure awesome.
That fight was good. Lance, all I can think of for yours is Kabane turning Super Saiyan.
Yeah. Just Super Saiyan God.
All right. I'm super focused. I'm angry. Now I'm going to go fight somebody for real this time.
You hurt my friends.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I'm concerned, it's one that we've talked about. It's the scene in which I remember the most, and it's the one where Kabane forgets about Kon, and then it's like, oh yeah, I'm forgetting something.
Yep.
And then runs and gets Kon and pushes her out of the tree. Well, not pushes her out of the tree, but shakes the tree so she falls out of it. That's probably the most memorable for me, anyway, just because.
Ooh, back to Kon. Okay, I got another favorite scene. is when Inugami takes that like orange and like shape shifts it to be Kabane's head and then totally tricks Kon.
Yeah.
And then all Kabane has to do is zip up his hoodie to make like an empty space of a head. And then Kon's like, okay, I got his head, let's go. And then like another scene later where
she comes back to the park.
They're at the park and then Kon comes down, sees Kabane there, and then Kabane just leans over the bench. You can hear it. You can hear it audibly. And then Kabane zips up his hoodie, and then he pops back up to make Kon think that he's headless still. Oh god, that was so funny. There's so many funny scenes in this show. That was probably one of my favorite funny scenes.
Yeah, it was. Trying to think. I know there's some more parts in the beginning.
Oh, I got another funny scene. I put my laughy faces on my notes. Episode 1 where Inugami's like, I put this in quotes, I'm gonna turn around and show you my butt.
Oh yeah.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I'm gonna show you my butt.
Yeah.
Like what?
At first I was like, oh, what the hell is going on? And then you see the tail, and it was a very weird scene just so that he could show you his tail. It was all comical and it was very funny. I thought that was great.
And then the fox with the bangs when they're fighting the frogs and it's the fox dog looking thing with the bangs in the underground tunnel.
Oh, you're talking about the Tanuki?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So let our viewers know, just in case you don't know what a Tanuki is.
That's Hinagami.
Yeah, a Tanuki is the crossbreed between a raccoon and a dog. And now, let me throw a little bit more into this. Our character, Inugami, is a Tanuki. The fun fact is, an Inugami is a spiritual possession of a dog. Now, if that makes any kind of confusion, I'm sorry, I'm going to put you through this route. A Tanuki is a dog. So Inugami is a possession of this Tanuki. So I'm sorry, I was a little confusing, but it all makes sense because, yeah, Ben just showed me a Google picture of a Tanuki. And yeah,
Tanukis and Kitsune are typically rivals in Japanese folklore in general. It's the same in Naruto.
Yeah,
that's how I know what I'm.
Yeah, it's a basic concept in the Japanese folklore.
One thing that I'm curious about, it's kind of going back to what we're looking forward to season 2, is I'm hoping that we get to kind of see what's going on between Nobumaru and humans. I know they kind of bring it up where they have a distrust for each other, but I feel like there has to be more to it. Because
to why Nobumaru is the way he is?
Especially towards humans. Because you know that he dislikes Inari, but as far as his distrust for humans, it seems like it's kind of almost deep down into his core. And I'm curious if you can get an explanation of his distrust for humans.
Well, I'm curious on how you feel that there's a distrust towards humans, because when you say that, it brings me back to the mosquito episode where there were all of those innocent workers, and then Nobumaru was like, don't worry, all of these humans are going to be okay. We don't want to lessen the population of people. We just want to, I don't exactly remember what he said, but
they were brain dead anyway, so.
Yes and no. Like he was saying that there is a way that they can all still come back to normal. Yeah. Like Nobumaru was ensuring the fact that everything will be okay because they don't want to negate any population of the humans. So that's
the people suspicious.
That's the only source that I can come to with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of have this feeling where all of his actions are a deep hatred towards humans, and it'll be interesting to see if you find anything out as far as season 2.
I think I could put that as maybe he's nullified to human emotion.
Okay.
He's interested in human emotion because there's been multiple times that Nobumaru has been talking to Kabane and is like, hey, don't you feel bad that Shiki found out that his mom's alive and you don't know that your mom's alive? Doesn't that make you feel bad? He's pushing, it sounds like he's pushing these buttons, or he's trying to be psychological. What's his angle? Is he trying to understand human life himself, or is he or does he have some kind of ulterior motive? So Nobumaru is definitely of some kind of interest. Like,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
especially because he did straight up say that he despises Lady Inari. So whose side is he on? Is he like a double agent of some sort? Or, I mean, he's still a fox.
He could be a triple agent, actually.
God damn, now we're putting triple in this.
Well, he will help Hinagami, he'll help Inari, and not necessarily tell either of them which side he's on, and he also has his own motives.
Yeah, so maybe he's working with 3 parties at this moment.
Or is he just out for himself and he's doing whatever he thinks is best?
There could be that too. But he also claimed himself to be a bottom tier level whatever, so...
Kemono?
Kitsune.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Kemono still works in his...
Yeah.
But, yeah, sorry. Throwing way too many Japanese terms out there. Real quick, let's just talk about Hinagami, because he's got a couple, like, attributes to himself that are pretty cool. For starters, he's got his spirit gun that turns into a actual physical gun, which I'm very interested in, because if he is, like, within the dog world, how does a gun just manifest into his own possession? It's just strange in itself. Also, at the same time, we learn at that bug episode that he can slowly change his skin into another form of something. So he's got some unexplainable abilities that we have yet to see come to fruition, at least as far as that part goes. So it's a little interesting.
The biggest thing I want to know about Inagami is just his knowledge, because he seems to know all the history. He seems to know about everybody that they're going into. He knew about everybody's families. And as I had said in the synopsis where he asked Kabane about his family, it's like, hey, do you want to find your family? So it's, where does he get all this information from? How does he know all this information? Where did he meet Mihai?
Oh my god, yeah. How did he come in contact with Mihai?
Yeah.
Apparently they've been in business for quite a while. So where did this start and how did it start? And like, yeah, that's a lot of information that needs to be discussed in the next season easily.
Yeah, there's so much not known about Mr. Inagami that I just want to know. It's, where did he get all these abilities from? Really, what is his ability? Is it only that he could shapeshift things? Or does he have more to it? And it'll be interesting to find out more about all this information. Are we going to get kind of a sprinkle here and there, and then maybe season 3 is going to be like, all right, now we're taking a deep dive? Or is it after Kabane finds out who his family is that when he's going to find out more about Inagami?
Yeah, I mean,
that's
we just
going to be
need to learn. We're just going to need to wait and see what happens in the next season, because there's lots to be uncovered.
Yeah, and there's so many unknowns about pretty much like half these characters, because what's going on with Koen? What's going on with Nobumaru? What is Inare's true end goal? Is she just looking to get all of the stones to become wealthy? Is she trying to...
Well, she did say she wanted to mass produce these stones.
She did, but if she gets all of these stones, is she just gonna...
take him for herself, or is she going to actually share that power?
Yeah, is she gonna become this super ultimate...
Or maybe even dilute it so she has the strongest...
Maybe she wants to monopolize it.
Yep.
Anyway, this shit can go
All these are
in any direction.
possibilities.
Like, clearly it sounds like, for starters, she wants to take care of herself so that she doesn't have to rely on some form of emotion. Because we learned through the show that all of the kimonos thrive off of some form of emotion, off of the humans. So do we have any other character talk?
No, I think we hit them all.
Yeah, we kind of took a deep dive on all of the characters. The only person we really didn't get into
Shiki's uncle
was Shiki's uncle, who's kind of just a piece of shit person.
Yeah.
So,
he's kind of like Shao Tucker.
I mean, okay, since we're talking about the uncle, what was his sister's name?
Aya?
During episode 7, when we learned about all of Shiki's family line, when we learned about the pink-haired girl, Aya, first glance, I thought that was obviously going to be a relative of his. I thought it was going to be a sister. And then the more we learned through the episode, I'm like, maybe she's going to be like a reincarnation of Shiki's mom, who just like got like operated on so much that like she had to like rejuvenate and start over. And now because she sounded like a smart girl to begin with, so I thought, okay, that's the mom. But then we learned that it's just another sibling. Just so happens to be, the best sibling in some terms. But so that's just where my mind was going at that episode. Also didn't like how she kind of turned all like hardcore punk and
she's rebellious. Super
rebellious. It's so strange because like it was a complete 180 on like personality after she got freed. I don't know. To me, it was too strange, too quick. I don't know about you guys.
She's enjoying her freedom. That's the only thing I can think of is people tend to go a little overboard when it comes to freedoms. So I wouldn't think too much of it into it. I know there's going to be a few things with her that in the manga we get to kind of get a little bit of a glimpse into her personality, which I'm looking forward to sharing with everybody, which we can get to later, of course. And
it'll be interesting seeing what happens with Shiki's mom also. Now that she's freed from the golden
cocoon.
thread. Yeah, the cocoon.
Yeah.
And she's conscious now. So Shiki and Aya actually, at the end of episode 12, they took off with her to spend time with each other and just see what happens next with them.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're just going to stay at the hospital. I think that's going to be the safest place. It's going to allow Aya to keep working and making money, and Shiki to enjoy his family time.
I just remembered something. Did you guys happen to notice that every single character, if you look at their clothing, it has a little hint at what kind of kimono they are?
A little bit.
Like Shiki has
Shiki's
spider
the
web.
obvious. Yeah, Shiki's the obvious one.
If you look at Kone, her sweater, it says Fox in her insignia on it. It literally spells out Fox.
I guess when it came to Kone, I was looking at her hood because she had like these two little clippy things in her hood.
And when you look at Kabane, he's wearing a skeleton hoodie.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a demon. So
yeah, and like
Inari has
the
Nine Tails coat, fur jacket, or scarf or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I guess every time I think about Inari, I'm thinking about like the opening credit scene where like she's kind of like in this dress type deal. So,
and if you look at Hinagami, he has kind of like the raccoon dog tail, ponytail, and a little swoosh on his hair.
His hairstyle definitely gives him away.
Yeah.
But like his clothing style reminds me of like a kind of like a gangsterish kind of vibe.
Yeah, mobster or something like that.
Another thing about Inugami, I forgot to mention, like I'm pretty sure most viewers might have caught this, but like when Inugami puts on his sunglasses, this motherfucker puts his hair under his glasses. Like, fuck,
what's under his hair?
That bothers the fuck out of me.
Very good.
Why is he hiding one eye?
Very good hair gel.
Is there something secret to it?
Do they ever show both eyes at the same time?
No, they don't.
I guess I never thought about that.
Are we going to have a situation kind of like in Ari Ferretta where he has a magical eye?
A magical glass ruby eye?
I'm not going to go that far.
No, because we did see his Inuki form. We saw him. They were. Oh shit! That was covered as well. He did his.
That's how I knew it was Inagami, but they didn't.
Good point. Okay, so we got this emo ass motherfucker. He's hiding something.
Well, Tanukis are tricksters also.
Yeah,
that's why they're always rivals with Kitsune.
Sure. Okay, I guess I would like to see a screenshot of both of his eyes at the same exact time.
I'm looking it up.
So viewers, if you happen to find one, please share it on our social media pages because we would like to see that for ourselves.
Lance, do you have anything? Ben, do you have anything?
No,
I'm pretty good at this point.
Unfortunately, I guess this is going to be a short episode.
So Tanukis aren't actually a mixed breed of raccoons and dogs. They look like raccoons, but they're more related to wolves in Japanese. Oh. They're real, too.
Yeah, I mean, I saw when I was Googling everything, like, I guess I didn't go down into the biology of it, but they're dogs, but they look like raccoons.
Yeah, and it's illegal to own one in the U.S., unfortunately.
Strange.
Why?
There's places you can own a fucking lion. You can't own a tanuki.
I know a couple girls that own raccoons.
Yeah, you can own a fucking wild... We're recording all this.
An opossum.
Okay, this is so strange. Okay, we are both on the same page.
Yep.
But we're recording still.
I'm sorry.
So Ben, do you have anything else to add?
No, that's about as much as my brain is going to handle right now.
Matt, you pretty good on this?
Yeah, I'm pretty tapped out as far as the anime is concerned, yeah.
All right, I think it's about time to get in some Matt's manga mentions.
NANI?!
One thing that I actually find kind of crazy about this manga is almost how closely the anime falls to it. So the first chapter is 71 pages. And the crazy part is it's almost I don't know if you guys have watched like the beginning where in animated movies where it'll give you that slideshow of what they want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
But that's almost how the manga looked as far as it, especially compared to the
It's
anime.
a faithful adaptation.
Yeah, I mean, it was 71 pages for the first chapter.
That's an insane amount of pages.
Episode 1 was essentially chapter 1.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
everything that was in episode 1 was in chapter 1.
Wow.
So,
Kudos to them. Holy crap.
this is going to be one of those that the manga is super short, but it's only because it follows so closely to the manga. I would say this is almost the least amount of notes I've had to take, and there's just not a whole lot of differences. Just so everybody knows, the manga ends on chapter 21. If you decide that you want to start reading the manga, read at the start of chapter 21, because about halfway through chapter 21 is when it swaps over and goes into season 2. So if you're not trying to look too far ahead, don't look beyond the first couple pages of chapter 21.
That's even crazy to say there. Like 21 chapters covers the first season.
12, yep, the first 12 episodes are in 21 chapters.
Wow. They did a great job.
Yes, I will definitely say that. And a lot of the changes are either subtle or don't change anything. So like one of them is during Kabane's first mission. You know how it's him and everybody, Kabane with everybody else. And in the manga, Kabane and Mr. Hinagami, and in the first mission that Kabane has, it's himself and Mr. Hinagami, and that's it. So instead of having Shiki or anybody else with them, Kabane does it by himself.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah, but it doesn't change anything because they didn't do anything.
That was the bug?
Yep, that was the bug one.
Yeah, because, I mean, the only thing the anime showed was that Shiki could spin a spider web. And then, like, yeah, it was cool that maybe he could have trapped him, but yeah, then the bugs ate it. It made for good, visual effects, but I guess if you're trying to get to the point as far as the manga might go,
Yep.
yeah, let's just get to the point.
Yep, exactly. Another one is that the shop, the second half of the shop, is not a bar. It's actually just a tea shop.
A tea shop?
Yeah, they turn it into not a tea shop, a coffee shop. It turns into a cafe, is
Sure.
what they call it. That's one of those things.
I mean, we have one of those right here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. We do have a legit bar that is also a cafe.
Yep.
During the day, which is strange to say, but they exist.
Yes, they do. I'm trying to think. Kabane sleeps on the floor. Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Oh yeah, that was very funny. When
Yeah.
Kabane was given that like hammock, and
Yeah.
you're like, "This, what did he say? This is too comfy. This is too fluffy." And then he just found more comfort just laying flat on the ground. I mean, I guess that's like old school Japanese kind of deal, is laying on a flat ass ground with like a hay pillow.
Yeah, it's not very common, especially nowadays, where the guy just sleeps on the floor. I thought that was a little bit of comedic relief, especially in the beginning, because it was all pretty serious in the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
When Mihai is controlling the car, you know how he drives into the door with the 3 mosquito ladies?
Yep.
Instead, in the manga, he just drives into the side of the wall and makes a lot of noise that way. Kabane takes Kon on a date to make up for forgetting about her. Akari randomly finds them. Oh, sorry. One of the things that's different is towards the end of the season, they kind of have some added information, added stuff that has really no continuation to the story. And it's the quote-unquote date that Kabane and Kon have.
Okay.
where he makes up to Kabane by taking her out and getting her stuff that she wants. Well, Akari randomly finds them while they're walking and calls Shiki, and they attempt to help Kon on his quote-unquote date.
You mean Akira?
Akira randomly finds Kabane and Kon, and he attempts to help with the date by calling Shiki, and they do these things to help attempt to make the date go better, and they get caught, and they do end up getting caught in the end. The spider you see in the flashback is Shiki's mother. So one thing that you don't see in the manga is basically Shiki's mother is allowing herself to get impregnated by the Kemonos through various ways. So the whole artificial insemination catheter that they were talking about really doesn't make sense because they're basically...
Yeah, it was kind of strange because in the anime they showed that the mother was kind of voluntarily going there.
Yep.
And then, like, she voluntarily got strapped in and did all this stuff. And, like,
yep.
Yeah, it was all very strange and weird and
whatnot.
Yeah,
Like,
I thought she did it because she was trying to, like, the uncle was supportive and supplying funds or something for the family.
yes.
Well, at the same time, he also wanted to create his own legacy and become profitable off of that.
But I thought it was, like, kind of, she was repaying him by doing this.
No, he had convinced her that was the only way that she was useful was by allowing herself to bear as many,
That's very manipulative.
Kemonos as possible. And when Shiki's uncle talked to the hospital, he had mentioned that he just randomly found Shiki when he was sick as a toddler or an infant, whatever it was, as a baby. And when Ayako brought Shiki to the hospital, he had said that he was just a random person, not his uncle.
That's strange.
Yeah. So after the mission, as Aya was leaving, she gave Kabane a kiss on the cheek and told him not to cheat on her. So that at that point is when she essentially tried claiming Kabane as her boyfriend. Was after the mission of Ayako and finding their mother. It's just a small difference. You do see Kabane going on his first solo mission. He is told to be discreet and to not get found out. And unfortunately, while in the process of doing his mission, he does get found out by a human, and the human tries to blackmail him. Random people just start randomly showing up. The company is like, what are you guys doing? You need to disappear because this kid is trying to make a viral video, and he believes that the Kabane are the way to make viral videos.
What the fuck?
It's
literally one chapter. It's one short little clip.
Do they have anything in the manga about when the kids are trying to find the drunk guy's lover? The
cat?
Yeah, the cat lady.
The cat episode?
Nothing extra.
Okay. Because I felt like there was something missing with that.
Yeah, like some dude just... Oh, that's one star point I made, by the way, is... If it's anything that this anime has taught me, is that if you're a lonely dude, you can marry your stripper lover. So don't worry, dudes. There's a chance. But back to this the stalker deal. I can see that being in season 2, like just as like a quick little snippet.
Almost like a spoof.
Yeah.
Episode. I could see that happening, especially because Kabane gets his first solo mission and stuff like that.
Especially after the ice castle deal. Like, what if anything got caught on the news? Like, I don't know. Shit can go in any direction at that point.
Yep. So after all those things happen with Kabane and the stalker dude, you come to find out that Nobumaru has the ability to change people's memories. So
we're tapping into the illusionary
Yep.
aspect of
Yep.
these
Exactly.
foxes? Okay.
The spider you see in Kabane's flashback is actually his mother.
Wait.
In the flashback, so not Kabane's mother, it's Aya's mother, and
Okay, that makes more sense.
it's the mother of...
Shiki?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, where does Kabane get these spider aspects?
Yeah, no, spiders, sorry.
Okay, so Shiki and Aya, the spider demon, the spider kemonos.
Yep.
Yes.
And then that's really about it. I don't have a whole lot of changes. It's this, as I had mentioned earlier, this anime has almost a tendency to go slide by slide on some information. It's kind of crazy that it's so detailed. And hopefully the anime kind of sticks true to that, and that's all I really have.
Well, that sounds like a pretty tight-knit anime manga situation.
Yeah, definitely. Before we wrap up, I know there's something that I've been wanting to get off my chest for a little while at least, but is there anything that you guys are watching that you kind of want to let our audience know that you guys are watching?
Okay, so like just to be clear, we're done with Kemono Jihen, and now we're gonna get on to what we're watching on the side.
Yep,
Okay,
exactly.
So me personally, I have been watching almost everything Marvel.
Okay.
I've been trying to get up to date. Like as of today, we are in the beginning of May, so like the new Doctor Strange movie has not even been released yet. So I've been watching everything on Disney Plus. Okay, so Doctor Strange came out today, but I am... Not that I need to catch up on everything, but I need to finish the last of Hawkeye and the final episode of Moon Knight.
It was good.
It was good?
Yes.
God damn, I'm on one episode left. I tend to watch all of this during my workouts, but I decided to double up on watching this series this week for whatever reason. But I am very excited to watch the final of Moon Knight. Ben, are you watching anything on the side?
Well, I just finished a couple different anime, but I am in the process of watching Spy Family.
Okay. Yep.
And Yashahime.
Okay.
Which is still going on, I believe.
Yep, it sure is.
Otherwise, I have a lot on my plate coming up for the next season, hopefully, that are coming out. Otherwise, I might get caught up on some anime that you guys have suggested in the past.
Yeah, I tend to suggest a lot of things, so...
There's a lot of good ones out there, and there's only so much time in the day.
There's a lot that even I want to watch that I just don't really have time for. And it's kind of sitting in my queue of things to watch. And I'm just longingly looking at it like, man, I wish I had time to actually watch you. Because like 86, it's at 86. I watched a handful of episodes and I haven't been able to watch it ever since.
I don't think I've heard of that one.
86, it's kind of the mecha one. It's really good.
Is it kind of like Gundam or Darling in the Franxx?
Very much like Gundam.
Oh, I have no idea.
And
or Evangelion?
That one I haven't watched, so I will go with maybe.
I did add that to my list.
Which one?
Evangelion.
It's really hard to follow. It gets confusing at a lot of parts, but it's got a huge cult following.
Yes.
Yeah, and the only reason it's on my list is because it is such a hardcore classic. Like, if you're an anime fan, like, you need to know what this is.
You need to know Evangelion, Akira,
yeah, that's another
Gundam.
One. Oh, God. Stop. Okay, just stop.
There's
Okay.
way too many Gundams to try and go down that road.
Yeah, just when it comes... It's hard enough to get into, like, the mech fandom as it is. Like, don't get me wrong, I do have my cool mechs.
Power Rangers. Megazords.
Oh my god. Power Rangers.
Zoids.
Yeah, Zoids was a great one.
Nope.
Code Geass. That's the one I wanted to say. Like, I'm pretty sure there was like 2 seasons of that. Like, it was just some like powers that some dude had in his head that he can make other people do what he wanted to do. But at the same time, in the background, there was some cool mech ass shit going on. I'm not too much of a mech person, but Code Geass had me totally on board with mech.
I can see that. Yeah, I feel like mech is one of those genres that you're either super into it or you're
Not at all.
not really at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you might like one or two here or there, but for the most part, you're just, I can live without it.
Yeah. And I'm pretty much on the borderline between it because I kind of need that fantasy element in order to get me intrigued.
Yep, I can see that. And then for me, one thing that I'm really looking forward to is I finally started Attack on Titan.
Finally.
It's
2022. Matt finally started Attack on Titan.
You could almost call it my anime sin per se, where just everybody seems to love it, and I just hadn't watched it. I decided to just say fuck it and start watching it again, really give it a try. So now what I'm doing is in the mornings when I work out, I will play an episode. I'm about 37 episodes in at this point, only because it was one day where I was caught up on everything we were watching for our podcasts. I was caught up on all the shows that I'm watching. I'm like, all right, well, I want to watch Attack on Titan. So I finished season 1, and now I'm into season 2, about halfway through. And I'm really looking forward to what's going on. I will say I'm glad I finally just, I wouldn't say suffered through, but just pushed myself through the first couple of episodes and really dedicated some time to watch this anime because it is very good. The character development's really good. I will say Eren is kind of annoying. He's not on the Asta level of annoying, but he is kind of trying to be on that level.
Yeah. He's a major bitch.
Yes, he is very annoying. Just the whole, I'm not going to give up. I want to kill all Titans. It's like, I get it. You hate them. Can we not scream about everything all the time? And I know because I was one of the side characters brought it up. It's like, no matter what happens, he just never gives up. It's like, yeah, cool. Yeah, I got it. Can we do a little bit more about him? But the series as a whole helps me push through it, just like on Black Clover, where everything else helps me push through the little bit of annoyance that the main character has.
Yeah. The story itself is what pushes you beyond the annoyance. Who is not narrating, but like who's the annoying ass character.
Yep, he's your absolute main character, and there's no getting around it. He has a flaw, and that's okay. And
as long as you get over it.
Yes, if you can deal with it, you can compartmentalize a little bit, it's okay. Because it's not like he's always annoying. He's not always screaming. He's not always doing all these things that can be of an annoyance. So I just kind of deal with it. And like I said, I've been doing it while I work out. So if he's in a stage and where he's in like season 1 where they're going through the training and stuff and he's just being his obnoxious, annoying self,
yeah,
I just lift things and
put them down.
I lift things and put them down. All right, anyway. So what episode are you on? You said 30?
37. Yep.
37. Okay, so as of today, May.
Yep.
We are currently in the quote-unquote final season part 2.
Yep.
Part 3 has not come out yet, so we do not know. So it's not like we as anime viewers know exactly how this is going to end. Yep. So Matt has plenty of time to catch up because as far as we know, it's going to take until 2025 until part 3 of the final season comes out because this fucking studio takes years to come out with a portion of a season.
And Lance, you and I are both caught up. We're not going to spoil it for him, right?
Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah. Me and Ben are both caught up.
I am under the acceptance that basically you get a month. If you haven't figured, it's one of those things kind of like Game of Thrones. I gave you essentially 2 weeks. If you hadn't figured out what happened in the latest episode of Game of Thrones within 2 weeks, you're just setting yourself up for spoilers.
Yeah.
The people that decide they want
to catch up on in 2 weeks.
Well, you got 4 seasons in 10 years.
The fact that season 5 part 3 isn't going to come out for at least another year, I probably have a good chance of catching up.
Yeah, you're going to be just fine.
So I'm not too worried about it.
Don't worry. At any pace that you're going, it doesn't matter how slow it is, you're going to be doing just fine.
Yes. I will say for anybody who hasn't watched it, it is a spoiler. But the first episode of season 2, I literally stopped working out and watched the first episode in the middle because of what was going on. I was like, oh, fuck. What the hell just happened? And I had to keep watching. It was ridiculous. And I'm glad I started watching this. It is not my favorite anime as like all-time favorite anime, but I will say it is very good, and I do not I regret more the fact that I waited so long to watch this than I do watching this, if that makes sense. So I'm very happy I'm going down this journey, unlike Lance with his nostalgia goggles with Dragon Ball Z. Well, non-nostalgia goggles for Dragon Ball Z. So that's going to be...
Are you caught up on that yet?
As of maybe 2 days ago, I am approaching the end of the Cell Saga.
Okay.
Okay, so Gohan's gone Super Saiyan 2.
Yes.
Which is very strange because they don't make it seem like it's obvious that it's like Super Saiyan quote unquote 2.
Yeah.
Like he just became a more powerful Super Saiyan.
You just see all this like static and
like
that was back when they were still trying to
figure out Super Saiyans.
Super Saiyans.
Yeah,
so
like
they didn't know there was
not
more stages.
These stages are not established yet. We just know that he's a more powerful Super Saiyan, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
So Cell blew, so where I am right now, Goku brought Cell to Kame and blew up his planet, and Cell regenerated himself, came back to Earth, and Gohan is blasting his one-handed Kamehameha.
The father-son Kamehameha.
The father-son Kamehameha to combat Cell's Kamehameha.
Yep.
And literally that's where I left off.
Okay.
That's the last episode that I'm at. So I'm caught up. It's super annoying about some things. Like it's
pacing?
Like the pacing. Oh my god. Oh, well, let's just talk about pacing real quick. There was so many moments in the Cell Saga where I don't even know if I said
jumps around and then comes back and
like. I'm afraid to say this because I don't know if I said this even in the last episode. No, we didn't talk about the last episode. I didn't talk anything about Dragon Ball Z. Anyway, in the Cell Saga, Dragon Ball Z has such a brilliant mind frame to say fuck you to the viewers. So there's 7 Z fighters watching the fight, and every time that something happens, they have to have all 7 of those Z fighters do their each individual gasp. Like
reaction shot for each one.
For each individual one. And as long as each individual one takes like 4 seconds out of the anime is doing just great for taking up screen time. Like, dude, fuck. So goddamn annoying.
Didn't they do that because they were caught up to the manga?
They could have been.
I don't know.
I can't even remember. It was so long ago.
It's the fucking 90s. I don't know how bad they were doing back then, but like, I mean, the best I can say is Dragon Ball Z, the official Dragon Ball Z, I'm pretty sure came out in 1989.
Are you watching it at regular speed or do you
regular speed? Yeah. My Roku, I did recently find out that I'm watching on my Roku TV. Roku has the option to speed shit up.
So much.
Funimation does not have the option to speed shit up.
I have the DVDs.
Matt also has the
Yeah.
DVDs. He's offered it multiple times, but I watch it while I'm in bed getting ready for bed.
Fair enough.
But my Roku TV, I found out through their options can multiply speed.
It's so nice.
But now that I have the option to multiply speed, now that their voices are going to be different, now I don't know what I want to do.
Here, the best way to watch Dragon Ball Z is to watch the Team 4-star version. The abridged Dragon Ball Z is the only way.
Oh, the abridged?
Yes. It's the only way I can even remotely attempt to watch it anymore.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
It takes too long.
There is that. Like what I've said in the beginning of our entire series is I've played all of the video games. I've played literally all of them.
And whooped her ass at it.
And I've got the storyline like memorized, but now I want to see
experience it.
Now I want to experience the animated version because I've skipped so many things. I've just randomly seen episodes, whatever. So I mean, I know you haven't been part of this universe that we have started here at Anime Lounge Podcast, but
I have enough experience with anime. I know.
Just yeah, so I just want to see everything firsthand, the hard way. But
Hey, at least you're not watching One Piece from the beginning.
yeah, I told myself
The
if
4Kids
I get
edition.
if I get crippled, then I will start One Piece because fuck you, One Piece. I do not want to watch 1,000 plus episodes of your anime.
He means bedridden, not crippled.
Yeah, more specifically, yes.
Because you can still hobble around.
All right. Anything else?
No, I'm pretty good.
You want to close this out?
That closes up our episode of Kemono Jihen Season 1. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media pages and please give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and anywhere else that you may listen to us. Make sure to tune in next time. Thank you for listening.